Hello, it's Gem Games here once again, and in this video we're going to create this speed line special effect. So when we are going fast, we will get these lines, so it will look that we are going even faster. And we will make it to be working with our player's speed, so when we are running faster, the lines will be more visible. So yeah, let's get started. So, first we want to go to the third person and blueprints. And now we have this materials folder here. Let's go to here and let's create a new material. Let's call this speed effect. Okay, let's open it. And what we want to do here, we want to select our material first, and we want to make the blend mode translucent like this. Then we want to right click and search for a dynamic parameter. Okay. Now we can actually open this parameter name. Let's rename this first parameter to emissive. And now what we want to do, we want to multiply this with, let's right click and get a particle color. Let's multiply this RGB with the emissive, connect to the emissive color like this. Okay. And now this alpha, we want to connect to the opacity. Simple as that. Now let's apply. Save. Let's close it. Now we want to go to the blueprints folder and we want to create a new folder called effects. Let's open it. Now here we want to right click and select the Niagara system from the, you can, if it's not here for you, you can find it under the effects. Niagara system, Niagara, I don't know how to pronounce that, but you know, this thing. Let's create a new system from selected emitters. Next, and the emitter that we want to select will be fountain. Okay, let's add it and let's finish. Now let's rename this to be p underscore speed effect. Let's open it. Okay, and why is this lagging so much? Okay, now it should be working. It's not working. What? Okay, it started working. So what we want to do first, we actually want to go to the sprite renderer and we want to change our material to be the speed effect material that we created. Okay, and also we want to change the alignment to be velocity aligned. And we don't actually have to change anything else from this. Now what we want to do, we want to delete the gravity force and the track. We don't need those. Now we can start creating this. So let's go to the spawn rate first. Here on the spawn rate, I want to change this to be 250. You want to follow exactly what I'm doing, and after we have created this, you can adjust it to your own liking. Okay, 250 first. Now initialize particle. What we want to do here. Let's make the lifetime 2 minimum and 3 maximum. And the color mode, it can be like that, and sprite size mode. We want to change this random non-uniform. Okay, sprite size mean on the X we want to make it 1 and 1, and on the Y we want to make it 100, and on the max we want to make it 250. Now you can see these are starting to look like lines, not like little squares. So the next thing, shape location. What we want to do here, we want to change this shape primitive to cylinder, and now we want to actually leave these as they are. Now cylinder distribution, let's change it to be direct. And now this cube position, it normally has this, or like as default has this emitter age. So it will, you can see, it will spawn a emitter. Basically, how do I explain that? But you can see how what it does. Okay. So, and now we want to change this to be random because we don't want it to look like this. So let's click from here. Why is this lagging so much today? But yeah, let's search for a random float, random range float. Now you can see they are all random. And now we want to go to the add velocity. And we want to change this to be linear. I don't know why I cannot pronounce anything today. But yeah. Now this velocity, we want to make this, click from here, random range vector. Now we want to make this 0, this 0, this 0, and on the set we want to make it 25 and 250. So it's looking something like that. So the next thing, let's go to the particle, the scale color. And here what we want to do, we want to, yes, we want to set this first key to be at 0 mark. So let's make it 0 and 0. Okay, now let's add a new key by right clicking this line, add key. And we want to put this key, I will check where I have put it before. Okay, I think it's on 1 second mark. No, it's at 0.5. Okay, so let's make it 0.5 and let's make the value 1. As you can see, like that. Now let's select the last one and let's make this time 2, this value 0. So now it will scale. Actually, we can, yeah, it can be like that. Now it will start from hidden and it will slowly until 0.5 seconds, it will go fully visible and back to hidden. So now we have this scale curve. We want to use this or like bind this to a variable so we can adjust it on our blueprint. So how can we do this? We want to click from here and search for a user, read from new user parameter. Now we have scale curve scale alpha. And you can see under here, user exposed, we can see the parameter that we created. Let's double click on that and let's rename it to be visibility, like that. Okay. And now we want to add a new particle update. Let's call this, let's not call this, but let's search for a dynamic material parameter. Now here we should see this emissive. We can turn these others off. Actually, we cannot. Sorry about that. I'm stupid. So, and we want to make this emissive to be 3. And actually, we can turn these off. Yes. Or let's make it like, you can adjust the brightness of these. I want to make it like 2, 3. Yeah, let's make it 3. Maybe 2, I don't know. You can play with it. But yeah, so I think we have actually created the thing already. So let's save. Let's actually save all. And let's close this. So now, what we want to do next, we want to go back to the blueprints and we want to go to the PP player camera. Here, let's go to the viewport. Let's select our camera component and let's add a Niagara particle system component. Okay, and we can call these speed lines or whatever. And let's select our emitter, P speed effect. Let's actually call it speed effect. That sounds better. Speed lines sounds something else than what we are doing here, if you know what I mean. But yeah, let's put 500 on the X and like I think 150 on the Z, and let's rotate it 110 degrees on the. I will show you. If we rotate it 90 degrees like this, it will not face the camera because our camera is rotated differently. I will show you. When we compile and play, you can see from here it's not going straight to the right. So let's make it 110 degrees. Now you can see it's going straight to the camera. Actually, I think it should be a little bit higher. Or maybe like this. You can adjust it, but yeah, it should be around the middle. Now it's close enough. Okay. And let's make these locked, and let's change all these values to 3, like that. Now it's starting to look a lot better already. So now let's compile, let's save, and when we go to play, you can see it should already work. We have this pretty nice effect, I think, right? But actually I want to put this a little bit more here, a little bit lower. So let's make it the 500 and 150. Yeah. So compile, save, and let's try again. So you can obviously play with the values until you get it to work how you want. But now let's create the code so the lines actually work the way that we want them to work, because now it's not looking that good and it's not working with the speed nor anything like that. So how can we do that? Here on the BB player camera, let's go to the event graph. And we can actually, here on the event tick, we have all this old code. We can actually call up this to function. Let's call it new function. Let's call it follow player. Okay, now we want to create even more code. So let's actually create another function. And this will be called speed effect calculation or whatever. I couldn't use the speed effect name because it's already used in here. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Now let's go back to the event graph and let's put this after the event tick. After this other one here on the event tick. Okay. Now let's go to the speed effect calculation. What we want to do here is we want to add a branch. We first want to check, we want to get our player ref, and we want to check if our velocity, split this, let's align it. We want to check if our x velocity, because that's the one going forward, I don't know why I can't pronounce today. And let's check if this is greater than, let's actually align it again. I like everything to be aligned. If that's greater than, now we want to promote this to a variable. And this variable will be called speed effect start velocity. So before this speed, the effect will not play. So now let's compile so we can access the default value. Let's make this like, just for testing purposes, let's make it like 550, because I think 500 is our starting running speed. And let's connect this to here. So now, if if it is greater, we want to add another branch. Let's actually move it here. So, where we want to check if the speed effect is active, like this. And if it is active, what we want to do, we want to get the speed effect once more, and we want to set float parameter. Particle system set float parameter under here. Yes. Now, what we want to set it to will be, we want to get from here, and we want to map range clamped. Now we want to get our player ref again, and we actually want to move this all a little bit further. So player ref, here we want to get the velocity again. And let's split it. Now let's connect the X value to the value. And to the A range, let's connect the speed effect start velocity. So it will start mapping from this value. And let's make this max. Let's actually promote this to a variable. And let's call this speed effect max velocity. So at this speed, the effect will be at it like it will be working, like fully working, 100% like that. So let's compile. Let's make this like 1500. And now A can be 0. So at this speed, the value will be 0, the parameter value, because this value is the multiplier. And on the B, on this, we want to set it to 1. Now we have to change the parameter name to be visibility. And you want to check that you have written it correctly. So we're mapping the value, the velocity value by these values to value that we can use on this parameter. And now, a few more things that we have to do here. Let's actually move this even further, right? So, because now we actually want to select the speed effect and we want to make the auto active false like that. Let's compile and save all again. And here, so on the first, if the velocity is not greater than that, what we want to do then is we want to get the speed effect and we want to deactivate. Actually, we want to add yet another branch here. And we want to check again if it's active. Shit. So, if the velocity is not greater than speed effect start velocity, then we check if the speed effect is active. And if it is, we want to deactivate it. Okay? And also we want to set float parameter value. We want to set it to 0. And the parameter name will be visibility. Okay? And now from here, if it's greater and if it is not active, we want to activate it. So we want to get the speed effect once more and we want to activate. Again, I have to move this further like this. So I will once more explain. So if the velocity is greater than the needed starting velocity, or like if it's not, it will deactivate this whole thing. If it is, it will check if it's active. If it's not, it will activate it. And when it's activated, it will start getting the velocity and mapping it to between 0 and 1 from this values. So if you're running this speed, it will be 0. And if we're running closer to this speed, it will be closer to 1. Okay. And 1 is fully visible and 0 is not visible, of course. Let's compile, let's save, let's go to here and let's play. Now when we start playing, you shouldn't be seeing anything. But when we press V, you can see the lines will start to come. They're not that visible, but yeah, you can obviously make them even more visible if you want. And you can do it by going to the PP player camera and making this out range B, for example, 2. Now when we play, you can see the lines are more visible. And you can play with these values how you want. And I actually think this 2 is maybe even better. But now, let's see if we're running normally. Let's first check what is our player's starting max walk speed. It's 500, yeah. So, let's make this start velocity like, let's make it 500. So it will start when we basically start the game. So, when we start to move, the lines should slowly start to come to the game. You can see. They're already here. Even though we are not going fast, that's the reason why we want to map the values to something higher, because we don't want these lines to be visible at this speed. But yeah, you can see everything is working. So now, here, I want to change this speed effect start velocity. I want to make it like maybe 750. Yes. So let's compile and let's save all. So yeah, we have everything working now. Speed effect will not be here when we are going this slow, but when we're going faster, you can see it. And it's looking pretty good, giving us this like feeling that we are going faster than we really are. Okay. So yeah, I actually think that was all for this video. If you like what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe for more. And yeah, hope you have a great day and see you on the next one.